Boys, hope you're good. Josefsky here, coming in with a little vidski. So I just want to talk about the ups and the downs of the remote worker lifestyle, the cold approach lifestyle, the international playboy lifestyle. Okay, James Bond is not fucking real. He's not a real character. Closest thing to James Bond is probably me. No, he's not a real character, basically. He's not real. So like, we as normal organic human beings, our life is not just gonna fucking look like James Bond, right? So all these fantasy characters that you see, that's not actually real. And we all know that anyway. My format of traveling as well, it was never to be an international playboy. I would travel, I would do this even if I found all the girls in every other country to be ugly. I really would. So, what's the upside, right? Let's go over the ups. So I'm gonna keep walking actually. So yesterday I went to the mall. First session. For those who are uninitiated, a session means an afternoon of daytime cold approach. Yeah? Brilliant way to spend an afternoon. Solo as well. Not speaking much of the language, basically nothing of the language. Really attractive girls, like stupendously attractive. Yeah, I would say they meet the international standard. They're internationally A grade, in my opinion. Beautiful, sophisticated, elegant, shapely barbarians. Yeah? That's my ideal human, is a sophisticated barbarian. That's like the thing to aim for in a way. Or anyway, they're just great basically. So highlights of that session would be closing the girl who didn't speak any English at all, using my limited Serbo-Croat plus a dictionary, online dictionary. That was actually, when I realized she spoke no English at all, that's when I was like, oh yes. Oh, I felt like my whole body changed. I was like, oh yes. Yeah, dude, these, you should have seen them from the front. I'll walk in front of this table as well. Try and get these ones in. Yeah, there's just so many babes. It's a joke. But yeah, so that was amazing to close her. She kind of closed me, to be honest. She fucking loved the open. She was absolutely gorgeous as well, like absolutely gorgeous. Other ones as well, like a girl who had a tattoo of Saint Michael. I just thought that was really cool, like a girl with an Orthodox Christian tattoo. Strictly speaking, you shouldn't have if you're an ortho, but I don't know, it's like a naughty ortho, you know, like me basically. So awesome. And the upside, right? There's this tremendous upside right now. I'm walking around, it's 35 degrees right now, it's scorching, right? Amazing. Everything is swimming, it's all beautiful, right? Great approach day, got some closes. I just had an amazing day. Walked about 20 kilometers, incredible. And so this is the highlight, and I'm in a new city, new language. I'm just so thrilled to be here, right? I'm thrilled, I'm excited. Where's the downside? Well, the downside actually in perfect yin-yang fashion came today, which was my ex-girlfriend, who I only ever have separated from due to distance. We've never actually separated for true reasons of like, you know, we've fucking been through a lot as well. Put each other through a lot. Mainly me putting her through shit. But also she had a lot of fucking, she just, you know, some of these people who coming from the developing world, like, and this is why I like girls from particularly in that country, the DR, because my life has not been, it's not been a cakewalk, to be honest. I didn't grow up like in some kind of poor third world country or anything like that, but like, but in a good way. Like, I was kind of, when I look back, like, I mean, my mum put me out in the snow when I was a year old, yeah, to toughen me up in the snow, yeah. And I'm glad she did. So it's like, yeah, this is my upbringing, right? There's a saying from Sparta, basically like the women from another city say, "Why do you have so much influence over your men? Our men don't even listen to us." And the woman goes, "We're the only women who raise men." And that's pretty much, that was on my mum's side. My dad's side was also pretty, anyway. But not even that, just the environments I was in. Like I was working not almost full time at 16 and doing A-levels, which is studying as well. Most people are not doing that, right? Most people are not doing that. And then a hell of a load of other things as well. So like, I pushed it, right? I had I had two potentially life, essentially almost ending or life destroying illnesses in my mid-20s, and I got through both of them. It took 2 years. So I was in a wheelchair for a year at 25. So yeah, the girls in a country, girls who just had a very easy, spoiled life, good for them. I can't be resentful to them. It can be hard for me to relate sometimes. Whereas girls who've been in a tough country, they've had to be on it. I just get on with them, even if it's not a dating thing. I just get on with them. So this she's like that, and she's gone from the DR to Spain on a scholarship to get an MBA. She's one of the few people who then got a job in Spain, so she's selected, really, very elite, and she's doing really well in the job in an accounting firm in Spain. But not only that, like she's like a true woman, basically. But anyway, we separated after this big romance, right? Like in the DR during the pandemic. I had like another girlfriend and stuff like this, and it was all just fucking stupid on my part, and I genuinely regret it. It was genuinely fucking idiotic. But anyway, I thought it was cool at the time. That's not humble bragging either. It's just like, I wish I could just go back to myself and literally just slap myself in the face and just be like, look, stay with this one. The other one, just choose, brother. And my excuse was, I've never had two that are this good, which was true. They were by miles better than anything I've ever seen before. But anyway, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. She basically, anyway, this girl, we had the romance there. We had a romance in Europe. I would go and visit her. I would fly her out to Portugal. We'd have all this amazing stuff. Like, it was this dreamy fucking romance, really. And the last time we actually spent together was the best week we've ever had together in fucking Portugal. And then I continued my travels. She went back to Spain, and she just couldn't handle the distance, basically. I could handle it, she couldn't handle it. She just wanted too much attention. Like, I can't, I was in love with this girl. I cannot be speaking to someone for like an hour and a half one night, like a Wednesday night, 2 hours maybe, and then the next day she's wanting the same again. I'm like, I cannot actually live like this. What's the point of me being overseas? I can't do it. Maybe if she'd been like married to me or something, maybe if she had the ring, she'd have felt more comfortable. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But we end up separating again for like the third time. And then I spoke to her a few days ago because she was on my mind before I came out here. Like, she's on my mind anyway. She's been on my mind every day for the last 2 years. On my mind anyway. But she was really on my mind. I have to contact her. By the way, I actually believe that consciousness is the primary aspect of existence. So psychic stuff happens to me on a constant basis because I actually believe that's the fundamental, or there's something fundamental to it that we can't fully sense. But she's on my mind constantly. I'm like, I need to say, hey, how you doing? You alright? And I messaged her like Friday, and she goes, yeah, I've just finished the Camino de Santiago, which is a Catholic pilgrimage across Spain, southern Spain. And she did it for reasons of wanting to move on in her life, basically. She did it to get over me, basically. So she walked 120 kilometers. It's funny because in the DR, those girls, they don't like to walk at all. Yeah, because of the heat, if they can get a taxi 200 meters, they will. So I found that quite a funny, like, just a funny thing anyway. But yeah, she did the Camino de Santiago, and I think on the day I messaged her, she prayed for me that day. So I think she maybe had some kind of a spiritual awakening. I don't know, but anyway. She just messaged me today saying, look, if you want to speak to me again, just pray. Just pray to God, because I can't keep talking to you. It keeps opening a wound, which is, it's fine. For me, it's like what I'm doing by talking to her is preserving a dream. It's preserving a dream. For her, it's opening a wound. She hasn't been with another guy for the last 2 years since apart from me, when we went to Portugal. This is another thing as well. All these, I take my personal life too much as a learning point, but all these fucktards online, like, oh, hypergamy, all this bullshit. Yeah, maybe for fucking retard American girls, for actually natural girls who give everything for the guy that they love, who give everything, who'd fucking die for him. For those, which is actually normal. Yeah, for those kind of girls, like, there is no competition. There's no competition. There's no guy who's a fucking NFL player who's going to come and take that girl from you. There is nothing. There's me or there's nothing. Yeah. So anyway, obviously me being me, I fucking yeah, I've not been at all. I think this is the thing with guys, is like I definitely can compartmentalize it. Like, I can think about that girl, my ex. I can be with other girls, and they just don't mean anything. But it's like, what else am I gonna do? Am I just gonna pine? Maybe I should have, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like there's almost different rules for men and women, though, in that sense. I think if I just pined, I think I'll be in an abysmal situation. So I was just like, right, let's keep greasing the wheels here. But obviously, in my mind, she's still there. So she basically giving me the final goodbye today, and I think maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, I because I thought it probably is, I'm like, shit, that fantasy's gone, you know. So yeah, I definitely shed a few tears this afternoon. I've shed multiple tears over this girl. That's something else as well. It's like, if you think you're just gonna go through life and have like casual relationships, and like, or you get into like, you know, you spend more time with someone, you fall in love with someone, whatever. Like, it's completely fucking normal to, basically, when my heart breaks, I just let it fucking break in half, shatter, yeah. And I just go with the flow. I just cry, yeah. Perfectly. Well, I don't care if it's mature or it's not. It's just what I do. There's a saying in Shakespeare, in Macbeth, where I think it's Duff's children are killed, and someone says like, yeah, well, you need to fly into action. You need to go get revenge. And he's like, mate, if I'm going to avenge it like a man, I need to feel it like a man. Yeah. The whole Catholic culture back in those days, when England was still essentially culturally Catholic, I would argue, was much more sensitive. It's a lot more sensitive. But anyway, so this is the downside, right, of the remote life. The remote life. If you're still with me, thank you for indulging me on this. But this is the downside to it, and this is the downside to the crazy cold approach life. And you've got to be fucking careful. Yeah. I know I don't have too many more iterations left of what I'm doing, but I can't turn back, because I invested everything to be doing what I'm doing right now. There's no plan B. So I'm all in on this, and she knew that as well. So it is what it is. But I think you've got to be a little bit careful. I think you've got to be a little bit careful. And I think depending on age as well, if I was much older than I am now, like let's say I'm 38 now, let's say I was 7 years old or 45, I think I would be, I would be like, look, you cannot let this girl go. Just go and inseminate her and just like leave it in the hands of the gods. As things are, I've invested too much in what I'm doing right now. And I started at 34 and I'm gonna see it through. I'm on the 12 trials of Hercules right now and I'm gonna see it through. I'm on a new trial right now and it's an important one and it's hard, but it's amazing. So yeah, that's a potential downside, is relationship angle, right? Relationship angle. People fantasize about the remote life because they've got shit lives which they've created themselves and they do nothing about, and then they fantasize about the remote life. The remote life is amazing, but I don't know how many people who fantasize they can handle it. I actually don't know how many I don't actually know how many can, to be honest. Like, you go to a new city, you don't know anyone, you stay there alone for a month. Think about that. You get up, you don't know anyone. Next day, same. Next day, same. 15 days later, it's still the same. Unless you make it happen. I think a lot of people that's very difficult for. It's kind of, you either relish it or you don't. So yeah, the social aspect, the emotional aspect, it's a definite downside, man. It's a definite downside. And I think it's why ultimately this lifestyle, I think it's ultimately not a lifestyle you're going to do for the rest of your life. I think it's a phase, an important phase. It's proofing against a midlife crisis. Am I going to be doing this at like 58? I don't think so. I don't think so. God willing, trying to envision my life at that point, maybe on a nice tropical island somewhere with a few shotguns, with a nice lady, some sons, Maximus and Hector. That'd be fucking awesome. And a daughter, Roma. There we go. There's my future visualized. But yeah, basically, don't glorify the travel player lifestyle too much. It's amazing, and it does deserve some glorification. But you're not living a fantasy. Yeah, you're not living a fantasy. You have emotions, you have connections, you're gonna fall in love, you're gonna have your heart broken. It's one of those fucking things. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for indulging me on that video. I am gonna do video number 3 because I've still got a little bit of time before work.